Hi, good morning, everyone. Rob with Health Sidekick. Let me start off by saying that I'm not a fitness guru or fanatic, but I have been able to lose weight, keep it off, and I've obviously been a lot heavier than I am currently. And what I basically wanted to say, here I am a lot heavier than I was. Here I am now. So I only mention those things just for the simple fact that I've been there. I've been overweight and tried every single weight loss program that's out there. But I wanted to basically tell you why I think Health Sidekick works, at least for me, and why I see it work for a lot of other people. The trend in health right now, at least in apps and diets and blah 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 and all these things that are out there, is all about more and more. I need more information. I need this. I need to track every step, heartbeat, blah blah blah. For a lot of people, at least for me, that would make weight loss very difficult. And when things become too difficult for me, when it comes to having to do, some people even look at it and they go, logging's too difficult. And I agree with them. If you have to weigh and measure every morsel of food, or if you have to be exact on your calories, that's a very time consuming environment. If you have to every time you go out on a walk, you have to sit there and go, oh, that was X number of calories to the spot. I have to wear hot rod. If you have to do all that, weight loss becomes very difficult. I'm the kind of person that is all about less. If I can do it in the least amount of time possible, and I can do it the easiest way, that's what I'm interested in doing. That's what Health Sidekick's prime number is that it's the easiest way to give you a gas gauge for your body. That's all it is. Why do you want a gas gauge for your body? The same reason why you want a gas gauge for your car, and you want it to be accurate. Now, one of the things that we should know is we should realize that all other sites that are out there, and you can Google and research this if you don't believe me, they all use all of them, every single one of them uses the exact same equation to tell you how much food you can eat. It doesn't matter if you're on a certain diet or a certain app or tracker, whether you're talking about Fitbit. Oh, well, Fitbit measures every step. There's margin for error, and the bottom line is they use the exact same equations as everybody else. Now, what they do is that, so what happens is you start off with this general estimate. So that's one of the reasons why it's faulty. Then it also goes off and it says that all these nutrition labels are correct, which they're not. They have 20% variation. You can Google this. They can be off up to 20% on the nutrition labels legally. That means that in calories, they can be 20% off. So what Health Sidekick's prime number does and what our algorithm does is it automatically corrects those faulty equations. And it takes the foods you're eating, the exercise you're doing, and how it impacts your weight and the lifestyle you live, and say, here's your number. And it also takes your logging style. So some people decide to, if you do decide to weigh and measure everything, it'll take that into consideration. And if you don't, if you're like me and use general estimates, of course, if there's a nutrition label there, I'm going to use it or something to that effect. But like, for example, yesterday I went out and I had chicken fried steak for breakfast right here. And I put Applesby. It's in the software. Applebee's chicken fried steak. I put that I had 3/4 of a serving of it. How close am I? I don't know, but it's in there. It's close enough to give me, because weight loss isn't this short-term thing. Weight loss is all about long-term weight loss is what you're looking to hit. And everybody's sold, of course, on I got to lose 100 pounds tomorrow. Well, you can lose as fast as you want as long as you're eating at a deficit to your HSK prime number, and that's going to be up to you. Right now, at my stage of weight loss, when I first started off, of course, I was dropping 2 to 3 pounds because my deficit, my calories, when I weighed, let's say, 210 pounds, I could eat a lot more food than I can at 171 pounds, right? I could eat a lot more food at that point. Just like if you're 300 or 400 pounds, your maintenance, your HSK prime number, remember that's all it is. Your HSK prime number is where you don't gain or lose any weight. If you're heavy overweight, your HSK prime number might be 3,500 calories or 4,000 calories. That means to start losing weight, you just need to eat underneath that number to start losing. And I'll show you what I mean. So you know that I'm basically very close to goal. My goal is 169 pounds, and it maybe a little more than that. And remember, as I mentioned, I've been certainly in a lot heavier than I am now. Here's me at 210. Here's me at about 200 pounds, and there I am now off to the other side. Now, what I would tell you is that because I'm down at a level now where I'm trying to where I'm eating very close to my deficit, because let's face it, let's face some simple facts. 1,630 calories. I'm 46 years old. It's not a lot of calories to eat, right? It's not a tremendous amount of food to take in. So for me, anyhow, to continue on my path, for me to eat at a 200 or 300 calorie deficit would be very difficult. Would be very, very difficult. For me personally, you might be able to do it, but that would put me at 1,300 calories. But over the last 6 months, and I know that's long term. Again, you have to think about this from a standpoint of long term. Over the last 6 months, I've ate an average of 1,604 calories. That's my average that I've eaten at 1,604 calories. Uh, on I've lost 1.56 pounds in my average weight, and that's key. That means over the last 6 months, I weighed in every day, and I weigh over the last 6 months. Over that whole 6 months, I weigh 1.5 pounds less than I did the 6 months prior. The 6 months prior, I was 173 pounds of average weight. Now remember this. I'm eating 1,604 calories, and my HSK prime number during that time was 1,629. So I'm eating 25 calories underneath my HSK prime number, a 25 calorie deficit. Now, I'm going to tell you that's what's important about having an accurate number when it comes to weight loss. As you lose weight, especially as you get down into the lower levels, to eat at huge deficits becomes very difficult. It makes it almost impossible for people to lose weight. And here's the problem with other sites and apps. The reason they're off they're off for the majority of people because again, they're just general estimates. And remember this, they expect you to manually adjust those estimates daily. Or if you're not losing weight, you change your diet a certain way, or you lower your calories, or you change your carbs. All of that stuff, they expect you to adjust it manually. Health Sidekick adjusts your HSK prime number for you. Show you what I mean by that. If you go to the last 6 months, 180 days, and you look at the HSK prime number, you'll see this number here is adjusting, right? I'm going to put this up a little bit. I'm going to go to full screen for a second. But you'll see that this number is adjusting here. This is the HSK prime number adjusting for me on a daily basis to tell me how many calories. It's automatically adjusting what's going on with the foods I'm eating, the exercise I'm doing, and how it's impacting my weight. So that's an important thing. That's an important distinction is those things. Anyhow, weight loss keep it very simple is the main thing. My personal thing is that weight logging takes me about 5 minutes a day, and I don't know why it should take you much longer than that. Looking at my average weight, I do every day. What's my average weight doing over the last 14 days? Oh, I ate 1,585 calories. I was 45 calories underneath my HSK prime. I'm lost 0.32 pounds in my average weight. The longer you go out, the better you are. Day-to-day activity is going to be up and down. We know that. Case in point, here's over those last 7 days. Let's take a look at 7 days or 14 days, and let's look at what the weight actually did. Again, I'm going to go to full screen. Here's the weight over the last 7 days. These are daily weigh-ins, and that's very sporadic, right? So to look at the longer term you go out, the better off you are, and to look at this instead, to look at your average weight, what's going on with your average weight is the most important thing. But I do weigh myself and log every single day. The rest of it, the foods you eat, the exercise you do, the best program you possibly can have is the one you develop for yourself. And I'm going to I promise you this, that if you stick with your HSK prime number and you log and you actually can just make that commitment to yourself, and then you spend the rest of your time, make logging as easy as possible. Forget about all the data and all this stuff out there. Simply do that, and then spend the rest of your time with what makes you feel good mentally. So develop some mental exercises and develop some spiritual exercises. For me, just asking God for help throughout my day helps a significant amount. And be specific about your weight. And what will happen is you'll naturally develop a program, a way of eating and exercising that's yours and that you can stick with. And then the reality is that here's the bottom line: you don't really need anything in the long term. When you look at long term, you don't need Health Sidekick. You don't need any other site. What you'll find is that by developing your mental and your spiritual exercises, you become you become very self-reliant and being able to go ahead and keep your weight off yourself. Now, I still use Health Sidekick. I use it because it makes it easier. It's like putting, again, gas in your car. It's easier for me to track my food. It's so simple. Why not do it? Why should I worry and try to keep track of how much food I'm eating in my head? Because you're still going to have to do that. But again, you'll naturally develop a program that you enjoy. I hope that helps.